Hello, everybody, and welcome to Allen Fieldhouse here in Lawrence, Kansas, where tonight we have Game 1 of our SimWorld TV doubleheader coverage, SimWorld U Basketball, where tonight we have the Kansas State Wildcats coming down to face the Kansas Jayhawks. I'm B-Ron, and joining me tonight for the first time in a long while is JK Candell. JK, good to have you here with me in the booth, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, B-Ron. It's been a long time coming. You and I are very close personal friends, so it's nice to kind of share the booth with you again. But I'm really looking forward to the basketball game we got going on here. Two teams who have been playing some very good basketball as of late, and you people know I love an in-state rivalry.
Absolutely. This one is going to be a very fun game, and let's set the table for this starting lineup. First for the Wildcats, George Clark starting at small forward, as Christian Kelly the other forward spot. Roscoe Scarlett, star freshman for the Wildcats, is the leading man at point guard. Also have Anthony Wilson and Nathaniel Zuberman at center and the two guard respectively. For the Jayhawks, Nas Hall, one of the phenom freshmen for the Jayhawks, starting as shooting guard. Madison Miles the third at one of the forward spots. You have Charles Pinkert, the other freshman, at point guard. Carmelo Vega at small forward, and Jabbar Wilson at center for the Jayhawks. As the Wildcats win the tip, we get this thing rolling here in Lawrence. Allen Fieldhouse, place where it's always tough to play and get wins. JK and Kansas State looking to get their second one over Kansas, as they beat them back when they played way back on January 30th, 76-71. Kansas State got that win in their first meeting, and there is a deep three ball to get things started for the Wildcats.
Shot clock expiring, a hand in his face, did not expect that one to go in. Don't think he did either, but you mentioned it. Kansas State, they took the first meeting between these two teams earlier this year, but this Kansas team since then has won 8 in a row. They're definitely not the same beast they faced nearly 2 months ago.
Most definitely not, JK, but both these teams really have been on nice little runs lately. You mentioned Kansas's 8-game win streak, but when those are the Wildcats, they're 4-1 their last 5 and 5-1 in their last 6. They're looking really good. Their last game, they didn't lose their last game. That was against Dayton, 71-4 at the March 7th. But this Kansas State team, they've shown that they can hang in the Big 12 somewhat respectfully, anyway. And they are currently in 4th, and they're actually tied for 4th with Texas Tech in the Big 12 at 4. Oh, great job from Nas Hall right there.
That's some lateral quickness it's rare to see in a freshman like Nas Hall. Just his ability to get to the basket, just find his shot anywhere on the floor. It's unmatched for his age.
And getting to the basket, you saw Roscoe Scarlett there getting to the basket with ease around the defender. I think the guard match is going to be one to watch. And JK, I want to get your thoughts. What are your keys to victory for this team for both teams? Starting with Kansas first.
Kansas, they're a team that can do a lot on the offensive end. They rebound well. They're one of the top scoring teams in the country, and they love to distribute the ball. So what you want to do is you want to get this Kansas State team out of sync and ensure that your guards are able to do what they do best, and make sure that Madison Miles is shooting well, because that's the key to victory for this team. Because when he's hot, we've seen it over the last 8 games, he's had his best stretch of the season over the last 8. As long as Madison Miles is hot and the guards are doing what they do best from a distribution standpoint, I think Kansas will take this one.
And we'll see what they do. You see Pinkert here with the ball trying to force his way inside. He does. On the foul. No basket. Christian Kelly with his first foul of the contest. Great effort there from Pinkert to try to will his way to the basket and get free throws here, JK.
Yes. Charles Pinkert, such a great individual, someone who I've spoken to plenty of time. I've reported about it before. I've talked to him about it plenty, where he was brought up he was born deaf, but brought up by parents who are not hearing impaired. He's been very vocal about his past and about his struggles in hearing. It's something that I feel like is not brought enough attention to because Charles Pinker's got no quit.
Absolutely not. No quit in the young man, especially to get this level of basketball. Playing at Kansas, no less, too. That is not an easy thing to do with all of the adversity that he's faced. But he's here, and he is going to be a solid player for Kansas in the future. And he's a very, very exceptional three-point shooter as well. And you'll see that throughout his time in this game, hopefully, as he leads the team in three-pointers made with 36 on the year. He can shoot the lights out. He was one of the members of the former Splash Brothers in SimWorld Prep, Cam Jones and Charles Pinker, when they played for Run DMV last season in SimWorld Prep.
Yeah, that was a fun guard trio. That team also had Keith Singleton, who's been kind of lighting it up at Georgetown too. So 3 guys for Jaden Banks who have really transitioned very well to SimWorld U, and they all are Splash Brothers at that.
Absolutely. No doubt. 5 seconds here on top of Madison. Miles working on the interior. Can't get the basket. Does grab the rebound right back up, but it's rejected. Second, third chance. No! 3 denials. 1 by the rim. 2 by Christian Kelly. Big block there from Kelly. K-State up by 3 right now. And want to get your thoughts on Kansas State to see the victory. But hang on. You can't leave Goodman wide open. And he shows you why he knocked that 3-pointer down.
Honestly, you were going to lead me right into it. Watching Kansas State did what they did to Madison Miles right there. You kind of rattle him a little bit like you do there. Kansas State, they got plenty of talent. As long as their scoring prowess can combat Kansas's and force those turnovers, I think they'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, we'll see what happens the rest of the game. First break of the night. We'll be right back.
See the game, be the game.
welcome back, everyone. Kansas State up right now, 12-6 on the Jayhawks. And we talked earlier, JK, about some of the players to watch for the victory in this one. But another matchup I want to point out to everybody is Jabbar Wilson and Anthony Wilson cousins on the opposite sides of the court. Jabbar is a Jayhawk, Anthony is a Wildcat. So look out for those two battling each other all game long, and look out for those two production-wise as well. I think Jabbar is one of those guys who has game play since his early days in high school, and he was in the ground zero season of SimWorld Prep. So we're going to see how he does in this one. Wanted to always play with Jayhawks. And he's been here for a couple of years now with the team, and you see Anthony Wilson there going to go to the free throw line. So one of the cousins active already and getting to the line here.
Yeah, other one's not in the game right now. Jabbar Wilson, as that captain for Kansas, has been really crucial for him. He's been that big guy down low, but you already know between these two cousins, I don't know who of you have siblings or cousins growing up, but that Easter dinner is going to be a place full of bragging rights at the Wilson household.
Yeah, depending on who wins this game, right? And I want to correct the JK. Jabbar is in the game right now. He's speaking at number 33. He is in the game right there. Anthony, though, nails both free throws down.
Thought I saw someone coming in to replace him for the Jayhawks. Guess I need to get my eyes checked. So
hey, it's early, man. Yeah, of course, it's early. We get to it, right? Yo, good luck trying to stop that man right there. My goodness, George Clark. He's 6'5", JK. He lives as a forward. He plays much bigger and stronger than what that 6'5" frame gives him. But look at Nas Paul responding right back with the dunk of his own. That's how you get scored right back.
Yeah, and you talked about George Clark, the UK native. You mentioned that he plays so much bigger than his size. He plays tough, and he's got a lot of length that he doesn't have a lot of length, but he kind of makes up for it with the way he plays. He plays scrappy, he plays tough. But my concern with a guy like that is that he's kind of a tweener. He's got the size of guard, but he's trying to play forward. So.
Yeah, I could see that being a concern down the road here. Right now, it's working out for him. That one worked out very well. For Kansas, Marvis Woodson scoring that one. Junior on this Kansas Jayhawk squad, and good basket for him to get going in this one. Lead down to 6.
Yeah. Shaping up for what could be a really good game. I was at a very iconic stadium, loud environment in East Lansing with my man Sniper J last night from Michigan State and Penn State. Now we're here for another crucial conference matchup. This is the best time of the year to be a college basketball analyst.
It absolutely is. Regular season winding down. Conference championship games are approaching, and Kansas looking to cut into the lead there with that basket 4-point game for the Wildcats. This is a big game for both teams. Kansas looking to hold on to that top spot in the conference early. That's going to tie them in also with Texas at 9-2 if they lose this one tonight. But Kansas State, on the other hand, they're looking to try to come in here late, perhaps, and maybe get into a better position in the Big 12 before the conference season ends, and maybe that's come into a higher spot. Failure for seeding as well. Good pass inside here. Wilson gets his shot. Woodson gets rejected by Wilson. And back on the foot become the Wildcats. They're going to try and score, and they do.
Kansas State off to a nice start in this one. Like I said, they're putting a lot of pressure on Kansas down low, and that's exactly what they need to do. Anthony Wilson, Christian Kelly have been crucial early on for the Wildcats.
And not all been just as crucial for the Jayhawks in this one so far. Really, the last couple of games here for Kansas, he has come alive, JK, and one of the benefits of that is he has allowed Madison Miles to not have to do everything. The Roscoe Scarlet also doing a lot for Kansas State. He scores there once again. I think that Nas Paul's emergence, and Marsha called it out on the podcast a few weeks ago, maybe last week actually. That was a big reason for Kansas's win streak that they're on.
Definitely. We'll talk more about that when we come back. We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, right back.
Look who's over there. He's walking!
So, what have I missed?
Welcome back, everyone. We talked about the guard play earlier, and the guards right now, both sides, doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Knoxville Star leading the way 9 points for the Wildcats. Knoxville on the other side, 6. And the Jayhawks leading them in scoring.
Yeah. I had you on the J-Rock show a couple weeks ago, like we were mentioning before the break, and we were talking about how much Nas Hall's emergence really helps this Kansas team. Now you have a bona fide, like, not even Batman and Robin sort of duo with Madison Miles. It's sort of like two bona fide stars in a sense. And Charles Pinker is another guy where you really just can't keep a blind eye on.
Oh, and you keep a blind eye on that dunk right there. Hard to miss. Guy who's wide open, running down the lane like that, getting right by everybody pretty much. But Nas Hall gets there by Christian Kelly. Back and forth from the Wildcats. Inside, throwing it down with one hand. Man, what a start here for the Wildcats, they say. But yes, definitely right. We were talking about Nas Hall, his emergence, and how it really helped the Jayhawks, and just how much they're going to need him with Madison Miles to really go far if they want to have this in this area. We know that a lot of the good teams, the top teams that make those big runs in this area, have that kind of combination of two bona fide star players who you don't have to worry about too much. You know, Kentucky, Joey Tate, James Johnson, the supporting cast, Trace Scott, down at night, the guys over there. Kansas, Nas Hall, Madison Miles, supporting cast, Charles Pinker, Carmelo Vega, Jamal Wilson, those guys are examples. So you need those guys this time of year and getting into the postseason as well.
Absolutely. Like, I've never been particularly high on either Iowa or Maryland because they have one bona fide star and no one else I really trust to step up. Those are teams where the way they've been playing is kind of what I expect from them out of Hoops area. A team like Kansas, or like Marsh said, a team like Kentucky, where they have stars, they're well coached, and they have depth, are the teams that you want to watch out for, especially those teams that can shoot well from deep. Because if you can hit a big three in Hoops area, when the lights are brightest, I trust you the most.
Yeah, not a bad thing at all to earn that trust and have that trust during this time of the year. Carmelo Vega has trust at the free throw line. A really good shooter from there, 85% coming into the game. It's the first one right there. We've seen some more substitutions made for both sides. Madison Miles checking back in, Anthony Wilson checking back in as well, among others.
Yeah. And what I hear about Carmelo Vega is that he's quite the scuba diver.
Never catch me doing that.
Grew up in Ecuador, so got some pretty beaches out there.
Scuba diving, swimming with sharks, none of that. I will leave that to those people who want to do that sort of thing. Not for me. A hard foul. Carmelo Vega, no flagrant rule there from the referees and the officials there. So I was surprised it wasn't one there, but maybe it's a good thing it wasn't. There's no kind of caution. A big swing, especially if it's one that's not favorable to your side, I'll say.
Yeah. And I'm impressed with what I've seen from Kansas State early on in this one, because Roscoe Scarlett, I wrote an article, I believe it was last week, where I called Kansas State a team like that teams might actually have to watch out for in Hoops area. I really like this guard duo, Zilberman and Scarlett. And people called me crazy.
Like, the thing that was trying to say is you're not crazy, JK, and that you were in fact okay.
I think I was. I think I indeed know basketball. But
Well, all I'll say is you'll stick to Hoops area, my friend. You'll stick to Hoops area.
yes. I'm high on the Big 12 this year. There's a lot of teams that are looking really good at the top, and I love teams that got a lot of guards. A lot of options out of the backcourt, the better I think you are.
Anthony Wilson trying to score, but gets tied up instead. Jump ball, that's an arrow going the Jayhawk way. I'd be careful if you're Anthony Wilson there. Wanting to avoid getting a technical foul. And one I like that, I'll get the rest attention. So he avoided it that time. You gotta keep your emotions in check if you're Anthony Wilson.
Yeah. And Anthony Wilson just playing a little bit too tough early in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Good rebound there. Good defense. Morabito grabbing the rebound. And making it up the floor now for the Wildcats. Morabito trying to score. Into it there. Long effort though from Dino Ahern. I really like this Dino Ahern kid. Again, I've seen him play way back in the round zero season with his game as well. He's improved a lot since then. Versus trying to defender. And there's a too easy basket from Jackson Whitlock. Freshman from Melbourne, Australia. 7 foot tall. You know what they say, you can't teach that.
Yeah. Sometimes people take that size, take it too much advantage of that size. We see guys like Jamison Johnson, Lamari and Sherwood, who know how to use that size, and you know how to impose yourself down. But not everyone's got the fluidity in their game that a guy like Jamison Johnson does. Not everyone's gonna get Tim Duncan comparison.
Right, yeah.
You're 7'1", 240 for Anthony Wilson. He's very, very, very. He just needs to get. He's a junior and he's come a long way the last couple of years, but he needs to get better at body control.
And he's a junior, so we've got one more season he decides to stay to work on that aforementioned body control you mentioned. But Tyreek Gracie at the line for the Wildcats. Gracie, a senior. He's from Nebraska, from Plattsmouth, Nebraska. And at the line this year, shooting 66.7%. And you know what we do, JK? Round that up. 67% on the year for him from the line. He does hit the first one there. Second one coming up here. Under 10 minutes to go in the first half in this one. And K-State still holding on to a lead now, 30-24. What does the Jayhawks need to do, JK, in your opinion, to continue to cut this lead down and start to get things back in their favor on the scoreboard?
Not on the floor right now, but they need a spark plug from Charles Pinkard. They need a big three or a big shot from Nas Hall. This Kansas State team's made it very clear that attacking the basket on them is not going to work right now, so they're going to need the perimeter games of Nas Hall and Charles Pinkard to kind of spur them right back into this one. Gotta take jumpers to get back into this. Yeah.
That's not there, no good. From the Wildcats and throwing it down and flexing on them as well in the process. Oh man, Christian Kelly. What a play that was. Now Bill Self. The time after that one. We're going to take a break here as well. Be right back.
SimWorld Sports, where you can see the game, be the game.
What's up, everyone? This is Big Bob.
And this is Maestro.
And we are the co-hosts of Around the Table with Big Bob and the Maestro.
Around the Table is a SimWorld Sports podcast where Big Bob and I give our takes on various sports around the world.
Make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to hear our takes.
And don't forget to join in the conversation with us on Discord at discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter and YouTube, or I guess I should say X, and YouTube at SimWorld 4K. And as always,
see the game,
be the
game.
Welcome back, everyone. It is that time of night here on the SimWorld TV broadcast. It's time for you guys to get your shout-outs in. We'll give you a little bit of time to do that, but in the meantime, we're going to shout you guys out. JK, who do we have in the chat with us here tonight?
Shout out to Biff Markham. Shout out Marsh. Shout out Kai Killens. Shout out Leishawn Carter, Jay Midoriya, Israel Hannibal. Shout out to Coach Nick Heesh. Shout out to Marquise Keesis. Get your shout outs in, ladies and gentlemen.
We always appreciate you all being here, joining us for these broadcasts. As you all know, this is where you guys get a lot of that engagement that you're looking for and looking to get better going forward into your future basketball careers. This is the best place to do it, and it's the only place where you can do it. And see the game in the process. Let's get back to game action here. Kansas still trying to fight back in this one, and that will go a long way and help you right there. Beautiful turnaround jumper from Jackson Whitlock. Again, this is a freshman, Jake, 7 foot, 231. And he got a really pretty turnaround jumper there. That was really pretty. I love that.
Yeah, and he's kind of getting overshadowed by some of the other freshmen on this team. Charles Pinkard and Nas Hall were kind of the crown jewels of that Bill Self recruiting class. 7 feet, 231. That size and that frame. We know Bill Self loves to have his big men every now and then. And with the way he's able to shoot it, Jackson Whitlock looking like he could be a very nice long-term piece of this Jayhawk squad.
Last one pass here, Cole Aldrich, one of those big men on Kansas national championship team. Believe they had Summers over there and Brandon Rush as well. On that
David
team.
McCormick is one of those guys.
Yeah. I have come through this Kansas program, and a lot of them have gone on to have some pretty successful basketball careers. You know, Ahern dropped and scoring for the Jayhawks there. 5:50 left in the first half. Kansas, they're trying. They're not down by much, but it feels like they're not making a dent because Kansas State had an answer everything on the floor, except that time. Top from Jabbar Wilson there. Now he's going to bring up the floor, gives it over. As the offense slows down here just a little bit. Throws it inside. To Woodson, back out. Swings it back over to Wilson. Top of the perimeter here. Shot clock down to 5. Ahern with it. Fits the space here. Give it over to Wilson. Wilson can shoot and make those. He does! Knocks it down.
Had his foot on the line. That's a 2, but that's exactly what Kansas needs. Jabbar Wilson, the captain, stepping up for the Jayhawks as Kansas State calls timeout.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of an overreaction timeout perhaps, but tomorrow, JK, huge day in the SEC. It's the SimWorld U game of the week. Doesn't get much bigger than this. Alabama and Kentucky. Juan Epps, Jamison Johnson, Uzik Childs, Rory Tate, Levin Cutler. There's so many names, potential pro names on both these teams. This game is going to decide a lot of things in the SEC tomorrow. 8:30 p.m. That one gets started on SimWorld TV. Be sure to tune in to that one on the broadcast. JK, any predictions for that one tomorrow, perhaps?
You know what? Give me the Wildcats. This Alabama team has a lot of depth. I don't think they have a true star on that roster, and I think Kentucky has too. I think that, coupled with the fact that they're at home and they're trying to prevent a season sweep, give me Kentucky by 7.
7, okay. I like that pick, JK. And it's so tough to make a pick in this situation. I'm going to be a contrarian, and I'm going to take Alabama, which it pays me to do so. I'm going to take Alabama because they beat them earlier in the season. I think that it's very tough to. It's very tough when it comes to conference play. You know your opponent so well, very tough to beat them twice. But I feel like this is it's not really match game when people will beat them instantly. And Alabama needs to win.
Both these teams need this win.
They need it more so going into their next game against Arkansas. So that's why I'm using that as a pushing block for them as well.
Yes, but then again, the SEC is a 3-team race, and they're all elite. I think there's so many conference races right now that are wide open. The SEC has 3 elite teams that I could very well foresee all 3 of them coming home with the conference title. They're all going to be top 2 seeds in Hoopsteria, or top 3 even. But then you have conferences like the Big 12 that's got a lot of teams who are solid. The Big 10 that's just a complete mess. Same thing with the Mountain West.
Yeah,
like the only conference where I see there being a consensus victor is the Big East, and because I don't think anyone's touching this Villanova squad.
Villanova's headquarters love in that conference. I agree with you there. What a pass to Jabbar Wilson! Oh my goodness, what a time!
Absolutely, Jabbar Wilson going bald a little earlier in life than he might hope, but it doesn't matter because he's rocking out on the court right now.
I was who knows, right? And we also getting that route. I understand. As Zuberman knocked that one down, I've had the hairline for time with David Ben, David now. What can you do, right? Can't make this shot and knock off. Okay, maybe you can because it didn't go in, but hey, but up the floor quickly though, come the Wildcats, running in transition and throwing it down, making the most of it are the Wildcats. They they are having a easy time holding on to this lead as Bill Self calls another timeout. We're going to take a break, folks. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Kansas down the scoreboard, but one of the things I like from both sides, JK, both teams have been really efficient scoring the basketball. Haven't a lot of defense played so far in the first half. Well, I guess you can spin it either way, right? Because both teams are around 60%, 50 low, mid 50% shooting. You could say it's hot offense. You could say it's bad defense, but I think it's both. In hot, I think they're getting efficient, smart shots. Paul fires a three, rattles in, beautiful shot from not Paul.
Oh, that's as pretty as it gets, B-Ron. Like, Nas Hall's just as good of a shooter as Charles Pinker, and doesn't get talked about for it.
I think people forget that a lot, JK, that how good a shooter Nas is. Because he's so dynamic getting to the basket, you get that he can shoot the ball too. So I do agree with you there 100%. But I think a lot of his game gets lost in transition because of being so good at attacking the basket. I think he's a bit of a facilitator. People give him credit for. I think he does a lot to make his teammates better. Overall, is what you want from your one. The one.
Like, I think it's a similar thing with a guy like Justin Bell, who is such a talented three-level scorer that people forget that he's so good from deep. Another freshman guy. Even Benari James.
Yeah, there is a list of freshmen we can go down, JK, and talk about how talented they are. We know there's three of them in this game between Rockford, Charlotte, Not Paul, and Paul Shaker. Three right there. They're just somewhere up and down the nation to talk about. Oh, man. Javier Moravito. Impressive move there from the freshman. From Australia. Whitehorse, Australia is where Moravito is from. As Jayhawk, 1935. Not Hall attacking. getting a dunk of his own right back.
Man, Nas Hall is so impressive.
What more can you say, right? What more can you say that hasn't already been said about that young man?
Exactly.
And
I think him playing for Bill Self might be the biggest match made in heaven I've seen in SimWorld this year.
I think it's a great fit for both parties, for sure. Now Wilson trying to get by Silverman's defense here, just pass inside. Waller, man, on the Jayhawks there. That's Camden Gilroy. He cuts the lead to 2. Right where you want to be if you're Kansas with 45 left in the first half of play, but answering right back. Who else? There.
Oh man, Roscoe Scarlett. What can you say that hasn't already been said? Highland Park, Michigan native, 15 a game. Already at 15 on this game.
Yeah, the guards are going absolute bananas. Absolute bananas. What a pass inside. It gets knocked away. Turnover now. Jayhawks can tie. We'll hit the lead on possession. Knock ball to the basket. Tie ball game. With 18 seconds left in the first half of play. Morabito step back. Trying to reset things. 10 seconds left on the game clock in the first half of play. Morabito gets the screen from Kelly. Morabito gives it to Scarlett, who's fired wide open 3, no good, and that's the end of the first half. All not enough at 45 apiece. Great effort from Kansas fight back. We head to the locker room. JK, first half thoughts, my friend. What you got?
Here's what stands out to me. This is going to be a good old-fashioned rock fight between Roscoe Scarlett for the Wildcats, Nas Hall for the Jayhawks. These guards are exchanging blows left and right. Great effort for Nas Hall to ignite this Kansas offense to get this game tied up at half. They were down 9 in the waning moments of that first half, and Nas Hall and Jabbar Wilson step up for him. I would like to see a little bit more Madison Miles from Kansas in the second half, but Nas Hall is proving that he can be a top scoring option if and when Madison Miles goes pro.
Yeah, bodes well for the future for Kansas for sure. As we wonder what the future of this game is going to look like, we'll find out. We got a little break, but coming back, second half coming up here from Allen Fieldhouse, SimWorld TV. Be right back.
Make him sweat. Make him sweat.
Welcome back to Lawrence, Kansas, everyone. And had a minute. Dan McMahon's on the sideline with us. And Dan, what do you have for us for going on from the other half?
Well, I had a chance to speak with Coach Bill Self, and he told me he is not happy at all with the Kansas defense. He said they have a lot more to offer defensively, and they are really going to need to step it up, or they're in danger of losing this game. They're 6-seed breaking.
Thank you, Dan. Good to hear your voice. I haven't heard you in a while. Good to have you back, friend. And yeah, JK, what are your thoughts on that? Kansas defense in the first half, both sides, and really defense was not either strong suit in the big picture because of the amount of points on the scoreboard heading into halftime, but thoughts on Kansas in particular.
45-point half to Kansas State. Well, I'm gonna be pretty blunt here, B-Ron. This Kansas defense in the first half was straight up doo-doo. Like, Roscoe Scarlett had 15 points in the first half. That's how much he averages in a game. They could not have an answer for this K-State offense. And I get why Bill Self is frustrated. He's one of the best coaches in SimWorld U, one of the most revered, for good reason. And he's allowed to be frustrated because his team is dazzling offensively, 19 points from Nas Hall, but they're going to waste that if they can't play defense.
I agree. We gotta play defense, and Madison Miles helping out there, tying the game up, and now it's a chance to give the Jayhawks the lead back for the first time in quite some time, JK.
Definitely.
Goes to the line here. These are big free throws. Madison Miles, a former member of the Twin Cities team in more prep, down there. A few seasons ago. And he's since blossomed into a very talented player for this Jayhawk team. He's going to give them the lead as well at free throw. And he's a projected first-round pick in the upcoming SBA draft if he decides to leave early after the season, because it is a two-and-done rule here in SimWorld U, not one and done. The Cougar flag will not be leaving after this season. All of you hoping he's gone. Nope. If he can't go, you can't go either. With everybody else. 2 seasons.
I actually really like Jerome Tang as a head coach for Kansas State. He was a long-time assistant for Scott Drew at Baylor, and now he's at K-State, and he's done really good things in turning around this program. 17 wins last year, is well on his way for this Kansas State team to eclipse that number this year. They're going to make it to Hoops area again under Jerome Tang, and bringing in Roscoe Scarlett. There's a lot of light for this K-State program under Jerome Tang going forward.
Yeah, and they've got some other guys coming in as well next season to join the program as well. They're continuing to recruit. Well, they're getting Molly Thomas and Justin McGavin as well coming in next season. Molly Thomas from Beyond the Arts, and Justin McGavin from the Originate. And we're going to see what those two do with the Wildcats next season and into the future for that matter.
Yeah, you probably have George Clark for another year. You're definitely going to get, and you're going to have another year of eligibility for not only Roscoe Scarlett, but Nathaniel Zilberman. This Kansas State team is going to be pretty dangerous in the Big 12 next year. That, yes, you're still going to have Arthur Adam, or you're still going to have Nas Hall and Charles Pinkard, but after that, it gets quite muddy.
There's a lot of talent coming into the Big 12 next season, and talent returning as well to the conference. So things could look a little more competitive than they are this season. Next season, as far as Big 12 goes. But not here for Jayhawk. Defense so far so good here. 2 points from Hall. Front rim is good. On the board is Tristan Kelly having the rebound. At inside. No defense good enough that time for Clark. Not that one. No.
Yeah,
and lead for the Wildcats. They'll don't take the timeout. They've got 3 left. That's still 5.5 here early in the second half, but we'll take a break to the side. Right back, folks. Welcome back, everyone. Jayhawks only down 3. Allen Fieldhouse trying to will their guys to victory here in this one. You got 17 minutes left to do it. And JK, I forgot to do the thing that I usually do. And I apologize for forgetting to do it. I was just focused on this game and I forgot. But don't worry, I'm going to do it right now. It's time to put those cues up, throw the music, folks. Second half action is here. And that fastest Madison Miles makes a 1 point. Kansas State leads 53-52. 16-55 to go in the contest.
Yes, and before we went to break, we were talking about the future outlook of the Big 12. A team that I would be very worried about are the Texas Tech Red Raiders. You got another year of Tyrell Thompson, and you got Jordan Belmont and DJ Amir coming in. Grant McCaslin, really like what he's been doing with this Red Raider program, and they're having a good year this year. I think they're only going to get better with another year of experience under the belt for Tyrell Thompson.
Did they also get Cyrus Jackson as well?
They did.
I know he's been very vocal about wanting to go there. I'm glad he ended up going there anyway. So yeah, that is definitely a talented three tackle freshman coming into Texas Tech next season. I think that they could be dangerous in the conference. We'll have to see what it looks like once rosters are finalized. It's way too early to talk predictions, so save those when the time comes. But Anthony Wilson there, knocking down the free throw, making it a 2-point game for the Wildcats once again.
And B-Ron, something I want to bring some attention to is that freshman for Kansas, not Nas Hall, Charles Pinkard, has quite the hobby of being a comic book fan, and I had the opportunity to speak with him about that. So an article will be coming tomorrow about that, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned about that. I know you all love the JK articles, but Charles Pinkard tells me he loves Spider-Man. That was his introduction to being a superhero fan.
Spider-Man is my favorite superhero too. I love to see it. Bruin fires a 3-point hit. Oh, Pinkard having the rebound there for the Jayhawks. Look, he gives it off. Madison Miles in the post, and move inside for a ball game. Lean on Madison Miles.
Like I said during the halftime show, this is going to be a rock fight. And this is going to come right down to the wire. It's a Big 12 matchup, in-state rivalry. A lot on the line for both of these teams. They both want it, and they're both playing like they want it right now.
Absolutely. Both of them given everything they got here in this game. Very crucial thing that I mentioned at the top of the podcast, both of these teams. Kansas trying to avoid getting swept by Kansas State here in this one. Pinkard has another rebound, effectively in the resting here. Gets to the rim and scores. And Kansas now has taken the lead for the first time in quite some time. 66-4. Number 6 moving in motion. Hanging on. And now there's a traveling violation. That's going to go back to Jayhawks. A crucial turnover to have there for K-State. Now down by 2. Could swing to a 4-5 point swing here perhaps. Don't need that. Turn inside. Allen! Gracie with the foul. And, oh man, what a great effort that was from Madison Miles. He's come alive here in the second half. And as a reminder, folks, don't forget, after this game, between game 1 and game 2, the post-up coming up. Grandma's favorite show, as seems like to say, got things for the post-up to that one. Look out for him and his thoughts on this game and the others around the nation in SimWorld U tonight, as well as the next game after this one, Washington State and Arizona. Vega knocked the ball loose. All tactical teams are next.
Yes. And I really like Corey Yams. He's just been telling me that they've been locked in lately, and he's quite the interesting character for those of you who have spoken to Corey Yams.
He's certainly the character. That is one way to word it. Sure. I like it though. Definitely like Williams' personality. I like him on the court too. The kid can play basketball. Especially the guy his size, extremely talented. What a move, like get that rejected, and that's gonna go the other way. That is a shot clock violation. As the block shot obviously didn't hit the backboard, so you can't reset the shot clock. And the Jayhawks taking the ball back on their side of the floor. With a turnover for the Wildcats. Gotta be careful with those against a team like Kansas, especially on Kansas' home floor. You let the crowd get into it either, but this is a very tough place to play at Allenfield House.
Oh, absolutely. And I was at the Breslin Center last night. That place was loud. This place, oh my lord. This place makes the Breslin Center feel quiet.
Really does. Really does. Picking up the foul on that one. And Matt Miles, once again, had to do it. He lived here these last 3-4 plays down the court. It was like that multiple times. But he's either scored a basket or got to the line and scored a basket for the team.
I've really liked what I've seen from Madison Miles in the second half. I mentioned during halftime I wanted to see more from him if Kansas wanted to roar back into this game. That Kansas State interior pressure has slowed down, and Madison Miles is taking advantage.
Really is. Really is. And Miles on the year, 71% from the line.
Not 0 of 2 right there, though.
Yeah, no 2 from the line that time from Miles. Not what you want to see from him that time down the court. Now Ahern trying to defend, but can't defend. Clark successfully. Clark is going to win it after more times. He's not. I think he has over Dino Ahern. Ahern much smaller guy out there. Has 6 feet, but still plays with a lot of heart. There's another foul here, and the Wildcats are taking time out. Kansas City opponent. I'm going to take a break for the two. We'll be right back.
It's time to see the game, be the game.
Do you have the mind of a coach? Are you willing to fight for your players? Can you handle it when things get heated? Can you manage your star player's ego? Can you handle the stress? Can you become a legend? The only place in the world where you can coach live in a virtual world. SimWorld Sports.
of that team to the way. A Midoriya, your amount, young man, is 180 EM. Congratulations on the EM. You'll spend it all in one place, or do, not some other. Congratulations all the same.
Don't do what Rick Blaze does and spend them all at a club that I probably can't mention on air. Don't want to get it canceled.
Oh, you alluded to it. It's fine. Camilo Vega knocked down the first free throw there. Kansas has the lead, and they're trying to hold on to it here throughout the entirety of the game if they have it their way. Because Texas survived in their Big 12 encounter in the night with TCU, winning that one 81-79, just barely surviving that one. And Dayton also picked up the win in Big 12 over Baylor tonight, 94-63. So two Big 12 teams already getting wins. Kansas can add one to their column as well and get that Bay for the first place spot in the honor.
Baylor dominant performance, or Dayton dominant performance against Baylor. Got my words jumbled there. 31-point win. What are we doing here, Bears?
That's a really good win from Dayton. Ahern gets his shot blocked. Back the other way come the Wildcats. Scarlett inside. Takes it back out. And great defense there. Won't let the earth.
Be right. Question for you.
Sure, maybe have an answer.
How did Michigan knock off Minnesota by 20 points? Talk about an upset.
Michigan's been insanely hot lately, and they're playing great basketball. I think a lot of it has to do with the momentum that they have. When you're playing really well, JK, everything seems to work. And that's what Michigan's doing right now, man. They're firing on all cylinders. Darcy and Phenom working well together as a duo after having some struggles with the season, but they're looking really good lately too together.
From what I hear, they're finally on the same page. They finally buried the hatchet. They grabbed a meal together at an Ann Arbor staple, and that's Joe's Pizza. So, and I hear that they hash things out over that. I mean, good pizza can mend relationships here. That's what you're hearing. You're heard it from me first, ladies and gentlemen, New Yorker.
Sure can. You got a good game here on our hands too. 63-58 Kansas. Trying to hang on. Look at the crossover move. Step back jumper. Go. Beautiful sequence of events there. Lex Earth showing his handles there. Now Ahern looking to do the same and score as well. Can't do it. Good defense from the Wildcats. Looking to score here and cut it to one, but nope, not able to do it that time. Up the score from the Jayhawks. 3-point lead for them. Holding on to that. Going inside the Whitlock. Turnaround jumper from him. He can't get that one. Rattles on the rim. No good. Just at the 10-minute mark here of the second half. We're halfway done with this game. Finally. As we get down to under 10 minutes left in the second half of play. Scar throwing inside, trying to score good, but can't do it there. With a hands up defense from the Aussie. As Ahern swings it around. Back to Ahern. Over to Vega. Shot clock down to 10 seconds inside to Miles. Miles, hop step inside, good.
Madison Miles. Talk about good footwork. Talk about a guy who I think should be drafted in the top 10 in the 2025 SWBA draft. So much talent in one spot.
He's coming alive. So now at the house. Up by 5 here are the Jayhawks. We are going to take a reminder everybody that the McDonald's All-American game is coming up this Saturday at 1 p.m. The game and the event. We're going to have a 3-point shootout, or just the game. My apologies, this weekend on Saturday, 1 p.m. We are looking forward to that one. Some of the best talent in the nation, the 17-year-old talent in the nation, let's just say, will be in that All-American game this coming Saturday. JK, always a fun time of the year. If you're a SimWorld Prep fan, winding down the end of this season, this is the last thing that these kids will do at the prep level. We're getting ready to watch the rest of their respective schools play in the SimWorld Youth season here.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of guys on this court play in the McDonald's All-American game. We saw Nas Hall playing it last year.
Yeah,
there he is, SimWorld TV's Impact player.
Yeah, speaking of Nas Hall, here he is, yeah. Getting the worthy recognition as the Impact player of the game. He has done a lot of heavy lifting for the Jayhawks in this one. 19 points for the young man, 5 rebounds, 3 assists as well. He's shooting 50% from the field in the process. Really efficient game for Nas Hall, and Impact player of the game as a result.
Definitely. He's a guy that's averaging 17 a game on the year, has already hit that plateau in this game. I know a lot of the love for these freshmen going to Benari James, Arthur Lattimore, Justin Bell, Cooper Flagg. Nas Hall, just as talented, if not more so.
And he is, JK, I think it's safe to say at this point in the season that Nas Hall is one of the best players in the Big 12 so far this season. Here he comes again, photo alert, good.
My hot take is, Biron, that it's not Arthur Lattimore who's the Big 12 freshman of the year. It's Nas Hall.
Oh, I think there's a case to be made for Nas Hall to get that recognition. I do agree with you. I think it's a tight race. That three-pointer from Goodman does not go, and only flash. That's Miles snatches away the rebound. Now Pinker hand off to Hall. Wilson, Jabbar coming into the screen. He bluffs the screen, and Nas Hall attacks with reckless abandon to the rim for 2.
I love that, reckless abandon. Biron, I respect your creativity.
That's right. Thank you, JK. Oh, throwing it down right there is Christian Kelly catching a lob. Why not throw it down, man? When you get one like that, third of on a silver platter, nicely executed. Now coming inside, Miles. Trying to get over Kelly that time. Kelly wins the battle defensively, making one and done for those Jayhawks passing down the floor. Here's the mismatch. Anthony Wilson not going to take Baker. Instead, Jabbar Wilson denies Silverman. Kelly also no good. 2 times, nothing to show for it. 2 denials. Jayhawks up the floor with it here. Baker gives it over to Hall. Hall being guarded by Kelly. Goes back over to Baker. Now Miles swings it around to Hall. Baker gives him a screen. Doesn't matter too much. Draw the foul anyway is Hall. And he'll get Christian Kelly for that one. So we'll see now Hall go back to the free throw line for the Jayhawks here once again. We'll take a quick break for the free throw right back.
Yeah, and let me know if I have a shot when the second journey begins. Yeah. Every time I feel like giving up, I remember how it feels just to feel a touch. You never get enough. Every minute that I'm with her is like seeing less. Just a little hit of her gets me higher and I'll never get rid of her. Cause she's so fly. She's so fly. She was so H.O.T. Fine like the girls at the K.O.D. Seen her in line at the health stand. Order something fruity, double shot, that's the health plan. Can we pretend for a second that you here with me? Drive off in my SUV, and it's like poof, back to the real world. Jimmy got soul, but I'm looking for my dream girl. Yeah. Colors to paint the right pictures. Double sinks, marble floors with the fixtures. Rose petals in the meadows with the deep Paul Franklin elixir. Wishing that I had a chance. Wonder if I see her again. Either by bus, plane, train, 15 passenger van. I'ma find her as soon as I can, man. Every time I feel like giving up, I remember how it feels just to feel a touch. You never get
welcome back everyone. Not Paul at the free throw line for the Jayhawks here. Had himself a really good night. Now 22 points on the night for Knockball. Believe it or not, that was his first free throw of the game, believe it or not. He's been productive, to say the least, for Kansas.
Certified shot maker. What else you want me to say? He was like me. He was like me in Pee Wee basketball.
Certified basketball player, certified shot maker.
Shout out Kendrick Lamar.
yeah.
Because Nas Hall certainly is not like us.
No, he sure isn't, because we're over here talking about the game. He's in the game playing basketball and doing really good work for the Jayhawks in this one. Now the big hook it up in transition. Madison Miles going off his facilitating skills with a great pass inside to Jabbar Wilson.
Man, Jabbar Wilson is actually a very underrated part of this Kansas team. He's their captain, but they got some other guys, so he's less talked about. But he's got the toughness of a Bill Self big man.
He does. Definitely good. Does go under the radar because of the other guys on the team. Like I mentioned, Madison Miles, not Paul, the main two guys. Wilson is a solid player in his own right, and there's Carmelo Vega in the passing lane. Playing a little bit of safety there, picking that pass off. Now Wilson, jumper up and in.
You said the word safety, had me thinking about a guy I'm sure you love all too well, Biron, and that's Mr. Ed Reed.
Good. Legend in the Maryland area, the Ravens. Carl Spinkard here, trying to make himself a legend in the future for Jayhawks, and his time here as one of their more prolific three-point shooters, perhaps. And they've had some good ones come to the program. Spinkard looking to add things to the list.
Biron, it's insane because at this point in the first half, Kansas was down nearly double digits. They were down 9 points. And that feels like a distant memory right now. They've really turned it on in the second half. It's what a coach like Bill Self knows how to do. He knows how to adjust and he knows how to make those adjustments going into halftime. They found their stride late in the first half, and they've just had their foot on the gas pedal ever since.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think has been the biggest part of this turnaround for Kansas? Like I said, they have really turned it into another gear here. Just like I had with the hit. Was it the defense? I know that Coach Self, you heard from Dan and earlier, more of the defense for Kansas. Do you think that that's really what it was that got the turnaround going and has kept it that way for Kansas State?
I think yes, the defense is certainly playing a factor. They've only given up 21 points in the second half, but it's really just been the fact that Madison Miles was honestly a non-factor in that first half. That Kansas State defense took him out pretty well, and now he's got, 20 points in the second half, and I think it's more just that Madison Miles is playing better, and Nas Hall is keeping up that same level of confidence. So I think it's actually less about the defense and more about the fact that Madison Miles is an absolute dog.
Okay. That's fair. I would say that two things true at the same time, JK. It's been both. The defense definitely has been better. They've forced a lot more turnover, been more aggressive, and they've also rebounded better too. They've done a lot of things much better in this half than they did in the first half. And defense especially has been big for Kansas. If I had to pick one thing though, I would lean on the defense more. But if this were a full back and forth thing, it'd be totally different. But now Jabbar Wilson going to pick up a loose ball foul here, as the cousin Alexander pushed off there, and maybe some action going on Anthony's part. But either way, the foul was called, and Wildcats will take over. Chance to cut it back to single digits here. We saw the last between the two as they walk back the other way. Up and over, and there's Anthony Wilson on the rebound, putting it back up, making it a 6-point Jayhawks lead here. 3:15 to go in the contest here. We got a close ball game here in our hands.
Absolutely. And you know who's making an early case for JK's player of the night? Knight is still young, but Nas Hall. Man, even Madison Miles, the way he's turned it on in the second half, 18 in the second half. Color me impressed.
But yeah, depending on your criteria, you can go with either one of those two guys. Like you said, plenty of time left in the night still. 3-pointer up, no good. And only the one chance though, that ball was hanging around there for a little bit, eventually picked up by the Wildcats. Anthony Young and Wilson going inside, can't get it. Now it's Bar Wilson.
Sounds like you got some Kansas State fans getting loud here, B-Ron. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, they're bringing it here as well. Definitely getting into it in the second half, and I can't blame them. 6-point game. You gotta try and help your guys out as well, even if you're on enemy turf, so to speak. And they're helping out here. Kristen County throwing it down. Yeah, here the back and forth competing here of both Kansas schools and Kansas fans, Kansas State, and the Kansas Jayhawks fans, as Nas Hall continues to shine in this one. Have yourself a game, Nas Hall.
I'm impressed with the Kansas State fan turnout in attendance here. It's only an hour and 18-minute drive, according to Google Maps, but a lot more than I would have thought. Allen Fieldhouse has a lot of purple in the stands.
A lot of purple here, but also a lot more red and blue from the Kansas faithful. Great backdoor cut from Vega. Can't get it to go, so against Nancy Pinkard rather. And he converts on the second chance opportunity that time.
I like Charles Pinkard's game. You talk a lot about him, what he can do from long range, what he can do as a shooter, but he's just a guy that just knows how to put the ball in the basket. Doesn't matter where.
And I think he has the IQ to be able to get to those spots. You can call there and be like, okay, doing the cutting or moving off the ball and getting into the spot he did that time in particular score was very impressive and very much needed for him. And he hasn't had the greatest night production-wise, but he's done enough and in parts when they needed him to. Helped out for now Vega in a real bad spot. Hang out the finger for 3. Can't get that one to go. 40 seconds left in the game. 3-pointer from K-State. Good!
We got a ball game, folks.
Got a ball game in our hands indeed, and there's the foul. Not Hall. Off the line. Bonus time here. Was Jayhawk. Hall. Looking to convert 2 free throws here, and he's near automatic. 87% from the free throw line. Does lead the team in free throw percentage. He does knock down the first one there, and in the process, we're going to get the second one here. Get them both. Big free throws. Big timeout here needed for the Wildcats. They're going to take a break. We'll take one ourselves. We'll be right back.
Je voudrais être seul avec toi.
She asked if you'd like to join the club.
Je voudrais dénouer.
You said, I like nuts. Register today and get a free Berlitz phrasebook. Berlitz, the best way to learn a new language.
Welcome back, everyone. 38.2 seconds left in this one. Not all out of time of game, 32 points. But Kansas State looking to fight back. That shot doesn't go. And looks like the dogs are being called off here. Kansas State under the foul. Lamar Wilson lets one go from deep. He can't get it. 20 seconds left. Anthony Wilson over to Roscoe Scarlett. Fires a three. And out of bounds, and I think that one got nothing but air. And it's going to go Jayhawk way here. And we should see the final 17 seconds of this one. Pick away as you hear the Rock Chalk Jayhawk chant going as the two thumbs get going through me as the arena erupts in that Rock Chalk Jayhawk chant. Ends it. We're going to move on and win this one. 83-76 and move to 21-7 on the year. 10-1 in the conference. 9-game win streak for the Jayhawks. K-State falls to 15-12 on the year. 6-5 in the Big 12. For JK, I'm B-Ron. We'll see ya. Game 2 coming up. Post-up coming up as well. See you for those. Stick around, folks. Post-up coming up next.
What's it like to be in charge? Spoon-fed by the feds and the law. With them playing in the car. 10 to 24 'cause I'm dark. You saying things that you're supposed to say. You say it only God can judge, so I don't want. But you still don't understand the cause. Your guns are loaded, always focused. You better finish the job. You better finish the job, yeah. Ain't you?
Welcome back into your grandma's favorite show. Hope she's enjoying some applesauce or something on the couch next to you for it. What a game there. What a game. You love rivalry games. Kansas got a few rivals you like watching them play, but look, this team's on a 9-game win streak now. They're hot. Their rivals coming to town made no difference. They didn't care. What I really like about this Kansas team is they've gotten hot at the right time. You talk about it a lot when it comes to basketball is, yeah, you can get hot. You know, that's great. But if you get too hot early in the season, you might come down from it before you reach a hoops area. They're hitting it with less than 15 games left before the postseason. And they look really good. Nas Hall, 25 points in 25 minutes. Insane. They're playing a really good rotation of players also. Multiple players, all but one player on the roster playing double-digit minutes. That can spell out good things for a team as prestigious as Kansas. You got guys like that for a reason, good recruits, things like that. You know, turn the defense up in the second half after being tied 45-45. Electric first half for this game. And they really just put the clamps on Kansas State. I'm impressed with this Kansas team. I think they're a top 5 team right now. I know they're ranked 6th, so that's not that crazy of a take. But I think they're a top 5 team at the moment. They seem to really figure out what worked for them. Madison Miles is looking like the Madison Miles the SWBA scouts and all the fans have expected him to be. Nas Hall is looking like the Nas Hall, the very, very highly rated recruit coming out of high school. He looks like that guy And early in the season, neither of them looked like those guys. So great win for Kansas. Puts a little bit of interest into the remaining Big 12 games coming up for the rest of the season. Like I said, Kansas, 9-game win streak. They're also now 10-1 in conference. They have sole possession of first place over Texas. So this is an interesting one. Texas, there's a chance Texas falls out of the Big 12 championship opportunity. Dayton is sitting at 15-12 on the season, unranked, while Texas is number 3 at 22-5. But Texas is 9-2 in conference, and Dayton is 8-3 in conference. Dayton's 1 win away, and Texas is 1 slip up from there being a little head-to-head there going on. Texas does not have the Big 12 under wraps at all. At all. They've looked so good recently, 4-1 in the last 5. They do not have this under wraps at all. That being said, let's talk a little more about conferences. Let's talk about conference players of the year. And I'll tell you what, this one was sprung on me by the producers. So I'm just going to give you my off the top of head pick for conference player of the year for every conference. So we'll start with the ACC. And I know you're all thinking Cooper Flag. He's going to win the National Player of the Year. He'll probably win the ACC Player of the Year. Blah, 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 whatever. Okay. But that's not who I'm picking, because this is my pick for ACC Player of the Year, and it's Travion Novick without a question. Without a question, he has been an absolute standout, delight to watch. He has been playing at the same level that Cooper Flag has been playing. Yeah, you can spear me for it. I don't care. You go look at the numbers. You go watch the game tape. He's playing the same high-level basketball that Cooper Flag is. He's doing it with a less prestigious program, and he has them above Duke in the ACC conference standings right now. Give it to Travion Novick. American, this one's pretty simple. It's likely Lace Darius Outlaw. I don't have an alternate pick for you here. It's Lace Darius Outlaw. This team is looking very good, and he's just kind of the full package. Stats-wise, game tape-wise, everything you want to look at, he's got it. I do think a runner-up could be either John Bruno Misty or Tyshawn Penn if they just want to say, hey, good job to Princeton. They won't. Maybe he gets maybe he gets the American Coach of the Year. Big 12. This is an interesting one, because I think there's a lot of guys that could take this home, but I think the guy who's been the most consistently impressive, and everyone's gonna disagree with me because it should be with someone. It should be someone on Texas or Kansas or one of those top teams. Thing is, it's a really good team with a lot of talent on it. Texas Tech, give it to Malik McNeil. He has been very consistent, very impressive. The team's not good though, so he won't win it, but he's my pick. Texas Tech wouldn't even be where they are without him though. And I'll tell you that he's been the most consistent player in conference, and really standings in the conference shouldn't matter a whole lot for conference player of the year. Who was the best player in the conference? And I'm going to go with Malik McNeil, honestly. Big East, another tough one, but I'm actually going to tell you that I think Justin Bell's got a shot. He's not my pick though, so don't get too excited. My pick is Shea King for St. John's. I don't know if you've been paying attention to him, but he's been going off night in, night out. They're 17-11. They're ranked in the top 25. Their conference standings in the Big East don't look great, but they don't need that championship to get a bid to Hoopsteria. Give it to Shea King from St. John's. Big Ten, another conference that has a lot of teams doing really good. A little bit of a logjam there at the top. This is without question to me Donald Effetti. Donald Effetti has been sensational to watch. Oh, joking, it's CKC. Come on, guys. Got you there for a second, didn't I? It's got to be CKC. I'm not going to explain too much about that one. And Mountain West, which is a lot of hate to say it, but mid schools this year, none of them have been super, super impressive other than St. Mary's one upset over Duke on the road. But other than that, this team's been a little pedantic to me. But the player of the year goes to a guy on one of the worst teams, and that would be Jazeel Wright-Johnson. Again, I've said his name a ton of times on the post up. If you haven't got a chance to watch him, please go do your research on this kid. He is going to be a stud for years to come wherever he plays basketball. He is on the scoring level of the best in the country. Jazeel Wright-Johnson. Pac-12, I'm going to go these fast because I realize I've taken up a lot of time doing this with you guys. But the Pac-12, it's definitely going to be Jalen Snow for me. Yeah, I'm not going to explain that one to you. It's Jalen Snow. SEC, this is a really tough one to me because there's not a lot of super standout guys. Jamison Johnson missed a little bit, so I think that hurts him. But I don't think there's a guy on Alabama that stands out enough. I'm not sure that there's a guy on Arkansas, but I think DJ Wagner could have a shot. The issue is it's going to come from one of those 4 teams, right? So I think it ends up going to likely Jamison Johnson. My pick for it, and this sounds crazy, but it's Tyshawn Ism from Florida. He's been sensational. He has been a top tier, consistent big for this Florida program that really wasn't supposed to be this good this year as a freshman. So maybe he runs freshman of the year. But DJ Wagner, Tyshawn Ism, one of the two. But let's talk about tonight around SimWorld U. And I actually want to bogart this tonight around SimWorld U to talk about some other conference stuff coming up. But I'll give you a little recap of some games that just ended. Oklahoma throttled Oklahoma State in another rivalry game, 102-55. They almost doubled their score. What makes this even crazier is that they were both 9-17 before the game. It's not like Oklahoma was a convincingly better team than Oklahoma State has been this year. They both have sucked. But Oklahoma beats them by a lot, by 47 points in an in-state championship, a rivalry game. Gross. Next one, Virginia continuing to go around and knock off Blue Bloods on the road. They take down UNC. Took down Duke. They go down the road, take down UNC. Johnny Baldwin and the Cavaliers are absolutely rolling right now. Hopefully they can keep it up, see if they can get a higher seed or even a seed at all in Hoopsteria. I think they're in there at the moment, but we'll see. And then what I want to talk about is we got a night of Pac-12 coming up after this. Next game you're going to see is Arizona. Next game you're going to see is Arizona is hosting Washington State. So that's one. But here's the interesting part about about the Pac-12 right now. You got UCLA sitting at 7-3. You got California sitting at 7-3. Utah at 6-4. Arizona at 6-4. Colorado at 6-4. USC at 5-5. Not fully out of it. And Washington State at 4-6. Great. A win for Washington State tonight doesn't necessarily do a whole lot, but it does help the other teams that we're going to see play tonight. We've got USC taking on Stanford, which is, like I said, USC is not fully out of it. You got California taking on Utah. Massive implications there as Cal is 7-3 at the top and Utah is 6-4. That would tie them there for second. And then in the instance that UCLA loses tonight, playing Colorado, a 7-3 versus 6-4 again, we could have a 7-4 log jam. 5 teams tied at 7-4 at the top of the Pac-12 by the end of the night. Absolutely bonkers. This next one coming up should be good. So let's get you right to the 3 and the key for it. First key, neither of these teams really excel at anything. But they do a lot of things. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm just being real. But Washington State, what's the word for the opposite of excel? Sucks. Washington State is one of the most terrible rebounding teams in the country. They're 82nd in the country, so they just can't say they're the worst, which is nice, I guess. That's going to be an issue against this team who's 29th in rebounding in the country. That's upper echelon. That's top 50% there. Guys like, they got Corey Yams. Everyone loves Corey Yams. He's a fan favorite. Great player. He's big. And he's a good rebounder. And they got some other good rebounders. That's going to be my first key to this game is the rebounding battle. Washington State has to put up a fight. If they are the 82nd best team in the country in rebounding tonight, they lose this game on the offensive glass, the defensive glass, all the glass. Probably step on glass on the way out of the arena. Something gross. I don't know. That's my first key. Second key, the guy we just talked about, Corey Yams. The big man for Washington State, and I'm done being nice about everybody, so I'm going to tell you the truth about Washington State's bigs. I like them, but here's the issue. Javonte Rousseau is a little bit undersized. He's a little bit undersized. Not that strong. Trevion Sherwood, very versatile player. Like the way he can step outside. Like his length on defense. He's not very strong. Corey Yams is going to eat him up in a one-on-one situation down low. He's just a lot stronger. Could be wrong, but I'm not. That's going to be my second key is the big man play between Corey Yams and whatever the front court of Washington State throws at them. And that's not to say both those guys I mentioned are very talented offensive players. I worry about their rebounding and defense. So that's my second key. And my third key is going to be the three-point shooting. Neither of these teams excel in terms of how many threes they shoot per game, but the one thing Washington State finds themselves in the top 20 in the country at is three-point percentage. They don't shoot a ton, but they're smart about which ones they do choose for the most part. If this Washington State team can put a focus on the perimeter, draw out some of these bigger defenders, like a Corey Yams, because both Rousseau and Trevion Sherwood can step out and hit a shot. That's going to be a big one. If they can get the threes falling, we all know threes worth more than two. That's a good sign, right? Anyways, thanks for being with me here tonight again on your grandma's favorite show. Remember, as always, SimWorld Sports is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. Remember to drink your water, tell your grandma I said hi, and I'll see you next week.
SimWorld, 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 SimWorld.
It's a place where average Joe can work on his craft and grow. Say you the new magic, yo. Well, why you ain't passing, though? Better get you a basket, bro. Cause this ain't no Madden, no. This is real ball life from prep to pro. Come on, Park, this ain't no fashion show. It's the opportunity for you to be the one to shoot the three. In the clip, game on the line. They like, who is he? Must be the 2-3 or 2-4. The one twice. Coach saying do more. Scouts like that boy nice. Drive up the price. Push up the stock. Build up your name. Stir up the pot. Piss off the eye. As a player or a coach, here it is, dog. SimWorld, this is your shot.
Yo, yells.
SimWorld.
You know your boy gotta get some of this, right?
SimWorld.
Rick Blaze.
SimWorld.
Ladies love. Let's go.
I be on some ballers, trying to get my hands on a scholarship. Pretty young thing already knew my name, said she wanna try out on a scholarship. Hold up, let me PG it. Porn go past, but you know I'm gon' do it. Podcast facts, Big Bob on the snacks, and you know I'm in my bag when March can't beat it. Baby, I be trippin' with my foes, tippin', shot out to the ballers. No bull like I'm Pippin'. Rick Blaze hit him with the freestyle. SimWorld Hoops, man, them boys wild.
SimWorld, 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 SimWorld.
And then when their lead expanded, they turned into a highlight machine, except for the problem was there was no film in the camera.
Welcome to Pac-12 After Dark here on SimWorld TV. We are finishing out this Wednesday night at McHale Memorial Center in Tucson, where Washington State comes into town to face the Arizona Wildcats. The Cougs have a record of 4-6 in conference play, while the Wildcats hold a 6-4 conference performance thus far. I'm JJP, and I'm alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Drayton. Coach, how are you, and what are some things we should be on the lookout for before we get to this opening tip-off?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, they kind of jerk my guys on the McDonald's All-American. That's nothing, but I think right now, I think it should be a decent battle between bigs with the front courts playing the most important part in this game. I think for Arizona, if Juan Valentine, if Corey Yams, if Khalil Erickson show up big, that this game can get out of hand. I don't think this Washington State team is as talented as Arizona, but they do have Travion Sherwood, who's a big, who's known to be able to stretch it from deep. They have bigs that can bang in the paint, that are somewhat more physical. J.D. Reyes is one of those freshmen that could have one of those games, because, you know, freshmen are always inconsistent. This could be one of his coming out games. Do not know what Washington State is willing or unwilling to do in a game like this, especially in hostile territory and conference play. It means the world to teams like this to try and turn their season around as the season starts to wane out.
All right, for Wazoo, it's definitely a must-win for them, and they need teams like UCLA, Cal, Utah, and these Arizona Wildcats to lose all their games. But for Zona, they're pulling a BGs and are staying alive in contention for that number 1 or 2 Pac-12 spot with only 4 regular season games left. And the starters for the Cougars, they have Benedict Fields, Reyes, Sherwood, and Roussel. And for Arizona, their starters are Davis, Hilton, Erickson, Valentine, and Yam. So very curious to see who starts off the scoring and who gets this game going with a potential run to, or if it's a back and forth. So you never know with these Washington State Cougars. They are at just about 500, 13-13 overall, while Arizona is 14-12 overall. Washington State, see them in their maroon uniforms. Almost time for the tip-off. And Coach Drayton, do you have any more insight as to who on Washington State do you want to step up?
I mean, who do I want to step up, or who I think is gonna step up? I think Sherwood is. I would say Sherwood is who I want, and who I think has to step up is Hugo Fields. I think he's facing a potential SWBA prospect with a lot of talent. If he's not good on the defensive end, this could get ugly for Washington State. on all three levels of basketball.
All right, here we go with the tip-off, won by Arizona. And for these Wildcats, their high-energy system under Tommy Lloyd has been paying off. Team averages over 71 points per game. They hold a fast-paced offense that keeps the defense on their heels, led by their deep and talented roster. And also their defensive effort has been the key to their success, as we see first point scored by Theo Hilton. And here we go, tip-off Pac-12 after dark. Washington State trying to finish over 500 after finishing right at 500 last season, with their coach David Riley at the helm and a mix of young talent and experienced players. The Cougars are eager to finish strong in Pac-12 play. However, they turn the ball over, one pass and a dunk. That's the dunk by Zane Davis to now make it 4-0 Arizona.
And I would just like to quickly highlight how Corey Yams defends players and never gets the credit because it doesn't always end in a block. If we're both in the low block and you try every possible move that you have in your arsenal, in your tool bag, and you get nothing and you're forced to pass out of it, how can I not say that's not great defense?
Roussel bouncing back there to score the first bucket for Wazoo. Last meeting between these teams was on January 30, with Arizona defeating these Cougars 78-70. Theo Hilton led all scorers with that game with 17 points. Coach Riley tonight looking for the upset on the road. See a rebound there by Washington State, looking to even the series here in this last stretch of Pac-12 play. Here we go with Fields going over to his point guard Asher Benedict over into the near side corner with Roussel. Now back to Fields on the left wing with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wazoo down by 2. J.D. Reyes going to catch and shoot for Asher Benedict. That one goes through.
And you gotta love when plays are designed perfectly. Even though the shot clock waned down, the players never dejected on the play. Everything was ran exactly how I wanted to, which led to an open three-pointer. You gotta love shots like that. But firing back with his own. Theophilus Hilton.
There's Hilton responding, giving back Arizona their lead. Now the Cougars here on offense. Hugo Fields scanning, delivering a couple passes, and now Roussel pounded. And he stepped out of bounds. That was Corey Yams forcing Roussel's foot to go out of bounds. So a turnover there, another one by Wazoo. The Wildcats. Well, yeah. Yes, coach.
I mean, when you're watching him play defense, how many people are going to give him credit for that because it doesn't show up on the stat sheet? It's just one of those things. And, oh my God, amazing move by Juan Valentine.
Juan Valentine is shifted left direction, gives him the bucket. Now the Cougars try to score quickly. They do. That is Travion Sherwood putting up the bucket. It's now 8-7 Wildcats. See Zane Davis at the top of the key. He'll go to Erickson, Khalil Erickson. Now back to Davis with 13 seconds on the shot clock. No catch and shoot here for Hilton. Hilton will opt to try to inch up closer. Shot clock almost expiring, and then hitting the shot clock there is Juan Valentine, making a 3-point ball game.
That was truly just a fucked up play that just happened to work. I mean, when everybody gets to their spots and then players get all jumbled up, a loose ball that ends up just, it was just mucked up. That's the only way I could describe it.
Yams with the rebound on the Roussel miss. Arizona with an offensive board. And we'll have 8 seconds to operate. Khalil Erickson. Dribble upwards. Spinning, has to get the shot on. That is called for the shot clock violation. Oh boy, he was not aware of the winding clock. So it's Washington State ball, and we see a sub check in for the Cougars. Now we'll see if the Cougars can trim this lead or tie up the ball game. played about 4 minutes here in this Pac-12 showdown. Asher Benedict over, a nice feed to Travion Sherwood.
I mean, you can't ask for a better textbook pick and roll than that. He picked and rolled so hard it literally left him in the paint by himself. Hoping for some actions like that to be called for Corey Yans, but Arizona tends to not run actions like that for whatever reason.
Now Hilton will go for the three-point shot. He's got it. Hilton, he cooked in the last meeting between these two teams. Will he cook tonight at home? He's got the crowd buzzing as Washington State working on the far side. Now going to their forward. Sherwood, he's got it. Adds another bucket to his stat sheet. Once again,
Travion Sherwood is came, and like I said, he was going to be one of those guys that was a deciding factor in the old school baby hook for Corey Yans to extend the lead 4 points.
Sherwood's old school. Now, Arizona, they've been holding opponents to 69.8 points per game. Got strong on-ball defenders, but they have a poster dunk! How about that J.D. Reyes? All over the Arizona defender to make it a 2-point contest. Well, you'll see that all over socials, Drayden.
I'm still kind of in shock. He took that up with ruthless aggression.
Indeed he did. All these Cougars trying to prove themselves and see if they can silence this crowd here at the McHale Memorial Center. It's 15-13 Arizona. It's about 13-15 on the game clock here in the first half. The first shooting foul of the ball game committed by Erickson. It'll be Hugo Fields at the line for 2 shots. Yeah, more on Arizona's defense. They've been making lots of possessions a challenge for these offenses. However, Washington State making it work, drawing the foul with Hugo Fields. He could not hit the first free throw. As we see Jeremiah Nestor check in for the Cougars.
I mean, Washington definitely has the future to look up to. Washington State definitely has the future to look up to. This season doesn't pan out. They are getting an extremely talented wing in Dylan Laporte from Waimea, Hawaii, the 6'7", 193-pound wing.
All right, Hugo Fields making 1 of 2. Now the Wildcats working upwards. It's a miss. Rebound there by Fields. And they'll give it out to Sherwood. Sherwood guarded by Hilton. Wazoo down 1, a spin, and short range bucket doesn't go through. And on the other end, foul by Jeremiah Nestor. We see a little yap in there on the sideline. Timeout called by Washington State as they are currently down by 1. We'll take a quick timeout, but stay locked in. More action right after this.
فايز اعمل لك معايا سندوتش جبنه
Just you know why. Why you and I.
باندا ما يتقلهاش لا.
here on SimWorld TV. We are glad you have spent your Wednesday night with us. Leading scores so far in this contest, Travion Sherwood for Wazoo with 6 points, and Theophilus Hilton for Arizona with 7 points. Coach, what are your thoughts so far as we currently have 29 combined points between these two squads?
Even though the score seems close, if you're asking me, it doesn't seem like Arizona has really been stopped. They've kind of got whatever they've wanted, got to whatever spot that they've wanted, and some unfortunate bad rolls or slightly too strong shots have caused them to not have this game in a comfortable lead. It seems like Washington State's more of hanging around than fighting in this game.
Seen a couple three-pointers made in this contest as free throws about to be made here, or about to be attempted by Jay Sala. Three-pointer has been made by Asher Benedict for Washington State, and Theophilus Hilton, the other three-pointer made for the Wildcats. Sala misses the first free throw, remains 15-14. The second free throw also a miss. We'll see if the Cougars can capitalize and retake the lead. Pac-12 hoops on this Wednesday night. Khalil Erickson matched up with Sala. Take it to the top of the key, now over to the left wing with Reyes. 9 seconds on the shot clock. J.D. Reyes, who posted a man earlier in this ball game, but the ball is lost. Erickson moves the ball up as well as Jay Sala, and there's a block. Massive block there. Cougar defense on display. Jeremiah Nestor there with a nice looking block to add to his season highlight reel. Still Arizona ball. And Sala will inbound, and it was almost deflected by the Cougars and lost. Shot attempt from up close is a miss by DeJuan Litton Cordoba, the team captain. Crowd buzzing here, trying to distract Washington State. We'll see if they can go for the three ball in this stanza of the first half. 4 seconds on the shot clock. J.D. Reyes, phenom from the Philippines, will drive up and miss the layup.
And I understand what the coach was calling right there. He was hoping for a lot of pick and roll, trying to get some downhill action, but this second unit of Arizona seems to be really lengthy and really quick. Like I don't want to say it because it's going to be one of those pause moments, but they're wide and long and good at stopping people from getting inside. As crazy as that sounds.
I mean, you got our viewers, laughing their butts off. But here, they got to be impressed by the block. There'll be Cougars ball. We've seen some pretty impressive block parties in this last minute, in fact. So good work by both defenses, and it still remains 15-14. I looked up briefly, and then I still see the scorebook at this particular score. We'll see if the Cougars break the 15-14 score. As the ball is in Nestor's hands, gives it over a couple passes. There'll be a foul on Arizona. Byfield's first.
That's a questionable call. I don't know if I agree with that one. That if you're gonna say if that's a foul, then this game kind of has to be called differently, in my opinion.
Somerville at the line. Second team forward hits the first free throw to tie up this ball game. And Somerville finally has been making his presence felt. He's been shooting an efficient 55.9% from the field. He's shown strong scoring instincts and is decent at shooting free throws as well. And now the Cougars have the lead here at the 10:55 mark in the first half.
I don't think they hold this lead very long, JJP. I think this is a bucket right here.
Oh, I guess you were wrong there, Coach. Sala is blocked, and Washington State comes up with the ball. John Paul Hoey working from the left side. Trying to shake his defender, he'll pass it outwards. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Ooh, floater! Nice looking float. And it's now 18-15 Wazoo. All right, Coach, you want to make another prediction here for Arizona?
I think I'm going to stay away from my B. Ron Stradamus hat, and I'm just going to watch and focus on the game and commentate as it happens.
All right, Sala there with the steal. Then Cordoba brings it out to Mustafa Bamba. Bamba with the miss. Ball goes back to the Cougars. Washington State up by 3. The second team's trying to find a way to score buckets. And here we go with the layup. That is Jeremiah Nestor. You hear the boos from this Tucson crowd. I guess they want their starters in, and the coach of Arizona, Tommy Lloyd, hears it, calls timeout. We'll be right back after this short break here on SimWorld TV.
You know, when I'm not in the gym, I'll be playing outside with my older cousins. Once they seen I had some talent, they put a lot of time into my development. I got a really big family. They team Dennis Smith Jr., so they seen it from the jump, so they always believed that I could do it. I'm rolling with them, they rolling with me. When I got hurt, I was pretty sour about it. And just being around me, hanging out, making sure I had positive energy around me. And I was just like, you know, I can't be the only one sad if everybody else having a good time, so. They told me I was gonna be out for like 10 months. Man, that's a pretty long time. It's gonna be something. I need a little sports training montage. My whole family, they motivate me a lot, and they believe in me so much. You know, I wanted to do them a disservice by not putting out max effort. I'm just blessed, man. Sometimes unfortunate stuff happens to people and they get powers. I'm a mutant, that's what my grandma called me. Yeah, I would consider myself a killer. They do what killers do, they going for the kill at any time. That's how I was brought up, and that's something that stuck with me.
All right, back here in Tucson with Washington State out 5. Update here on the field goal percentages. Wazoo shooting 67% when I rounded up from the field. And Arizona shooting an alarming 41% from the field. So back here with the action, I see Corey Yams has checked back in. Oh, ball stolen by John Paul Holy. And now the Cougars in transition, looking to extend this lead out of the Arizona timeout. Now to the right wing, 13 seconds. Nice feed, but a block by Yams. Bill Wazoo's ball, sweet block there by Yams.
I mean, what more could you ask from your big? He went from guarding his guy out to the perimeter to meeting the guard in the paint off the dribble handoff. Come on.
Yeah, no nice pass is safe, I guess, in this Pac-12 contest. Catch and shoot a 3 is good. It's a long 2, in fact, for J.P. Smith-Ewart. And Arizona has to call another timeout. They're down by a touchdown and extra point here at the 8:35 mark in the first half. And don't play yourself. Invite others to be a part of this universe we call SimWorld. We're offering a 5,000 EM signing bonus for head coaches and head coach referrals. And we also appreciate our super fans. And if you want to know more about SimWorld, check out our website, simworldsports.com, as well as the Discord server. We know all of you are on Discord. Our URL is discord.gg/SimWorldHoops. Once again, discord.gg/SimWorldHoops. SimWorld Sports is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. I haven't seen a timeout called this quickly, Coach. After one, I guess, made bucket, long two. And it's a 7-point contest.
I mean, it was one of those panic timeouts where you're like, all right, I thought subbing in 1 or 2 starters might have did it. I might need to do a whole platoon swap. I'm generally against whole platoon swaps, and unless it's like dire need. I didn't feel like it's dire need right here, but if you want to get your starters back in, felt like they've rested long enough, who am I? At this point, I'm just a fan of the other game, right?
All right, you are a coach. All right, if you're a Wildcats fan, still no need to panic. We are still in the early stage here in the first half. A little past the halfway mark. Corey Yams, along with the turnaround jumper there made by Theo Hilton. Yams and Hilton both on the floor. Good to see if you're an Arizona fan. Still missing Juan Valentine, though. Driving upwards, putting the moves, but missing is Smith Ewart. And the rebound there by Salah.
I mean, on that possession, again, that's Arizona's interior defense has been some of the best that I've seen outside of that one lapse where Juan Valentine absolutely got punished for jumping.
There's Yams bullying his way for a bucket. And Corey Yams, if you're tracking his points, he's at 4 thus far. And 3 points is the difference here between the Cougars and Wildcats. Drawing the foul is Asher Benedict, the starting point guard. And we see Jeremy Fifield not believing the call. This will send Benedict to the line for 2.
I mean, it's like I said earlier in the game, some calls are loosely defined, and then you have some tougher calls. It makes you can't call one questionable one and then everybody not expect to get certain calls because you caught the one question.
Asher Benedict extending this lead with his free throw, ready for the second one. He's been dishing out 2.3 assists per game. Isn't afraid to take big shots. Off the court, he's known for his animated personality, and his girlfriend is a former Miss Teen USA runner-up.
I mean, talk about back. That might be his best shot he's made on and off the court.
Right, Asher's got game in 2 places, and he's looking to give Washington State the victory tonight. As we see Juan Valentine back on the floor. Hilton driving up, passing outwards, catch and shoot. It's a clank for Arizona. Zane Davis with the miss.
Zane Davis is usually a lights-out shooter. I think he wasn't expecting a pass that soon. I mean, the ball came to him perfectly, so he probably wasn't expecting it.
And Roussel working his way. Nice crafty shot to make it 26-19 Washington State. Arizona's crowd has mellowed out. I hear them slowly chanting, trying to motivate their home squad. Juan Valentine could not make it with the left hand. Rebound by the Cougs.
Sometimes as a veteran or a senior or a leader on the team, you have to understand what shots you can and you can't take. That's definitely a shot at this juncture of the game that he shouldn't have took.
Now on the right wing situated is Hoey. Top of the key, 3. No good there, offensive board. Now another 3 attempt, also a miss, and there's Salah with the rebound. Sala trying to control things here. As we're now at the 5:40 mark in the first half. Zane Davis looking to shake and bake. Will he do it? No, give it out to Sala. Oh no, off the glass, a miss. However, another chance, and it's also a miss, so a little bit of imitation there. Washington State had missed 2, and now Arizona missing 2 attempts. We'll see if the Cougars can extend this lead. Hoey. He draws the foul. It'll be Owen Oldham's first.
Would I sound crazy if I said I didn't think that was a foul?
No, you might have a case. I feel like some referees are more capable of swallowing that whistle, not calling it, but some are. And Hoey, this is here at the stripe for 2.
Well, I don't know.
Yep, a lot of Arizona fans will agree with your sentiment, Coach. John Paul Hoey, though he's not a starter yet, he could be a difference maker off the bench. The 6'8" freshman forward. He's been shooting 84.6% from the free throw line. He's been reliable in Washington State's close games. However, that free throw percentage will go down after those 2 misses. And it looks like Arizona has stepped out of bounds. That is Khalil Erickson who made the error there, sending the ball back into the Cougars' possession.
I mean, I can understand wanting to play some of the younger guys crucial minutes, because with the 2 and through rule, you really have to see how much you can get out of your younger guys as early and as often as possible, because with 2 and through, it makes it more likely that players stay all 4 years, or that they definitely come back for their junior year if their sophomore year isn't as productive as they want. So I can understand wanting to play through your bench and wanting to have some of the younger guys stay in the game longer. But this is conference play. We need the big guns in. We need the veteran guys. This is for all the marbles. Every game in conference matters.
J.D. Reyes looking for another bucket here. Pass it outwards to the left wing to Hoey. And Hoey pass it back out to Reyes, working with 3 seconds on the shot clock. J.D. Reyes fighting through for that layup, put it on the board. .21 to score. Reyes trying to work on defense. Briefly lost his guy. However, still a miss coming from the Arizona field goal attempt. 9-point ball game. Arizona, not their best showing in this first half so far. Now Sherwood out back to Smith-Ewert. J.D. Reyes. I'd say he's been a solid player in this first half. Will he continue on this possession? Yes, sir.
And I know they've already burned 2, but I probably call a timeout right here just to try and see where the team's heads at. Like, this is where you try and garner some morale back, because this is a possession or 2 of getting out of hand.
Oh, huge monster jam. Khalil Erickson waking up this crowd and his coach and his teammates on the bench as well. Now the Cougars looking to come up with a score, take it back to a double-digit lead. Sherwood, not the best shot choice, being guarded by 2 Wildcats, and now the Wildcats are in transition. Zane Davis working from the left wing. He's guarded by Smith-Ewert. 2:28 left in this half. Jay Sala, the big man. Give it to Erickson, and he's back again at the rim. Erickson has been harassing that rim on the right side of this court. This necessitates a timeout from Wazoo. We'll be right back.
我台裡明明老死，我都落針，一百個都做後生都跳啊！哦，我台裡明叫我都唔會好好硬摸都背。做咩可跳摸嘅歌？可能我係做聲聲聲入喎。滅雞黃虎誒！
All right, before the timeout, we saw some nice highlight reel dunks from Khalil Erickson, and the way that those dunks were produced, it seemed like Arizona had some good play calls going on. They had a good play call here, these Cougars, but they come up with a miss. Coach, do you expect to see more creative play calling against Washington State? And as I say that, Juan Valentine goes up for the alley-oop, and that might maybe the strategy the rest of the way, Coach. Just go on and put on a show here in Tucson.
I mean, I can't argue against it. It seems to be working. They're high-flying, attacking the rim. It kind of reminds me, nobody killed me for this, but they're running like the Rebels.
Okay.
If they would have threw an oop right there, I would have been like, yeah, nobody can say anything. But definitely did.
All right, let's see what strategy these Wildcats employ with Khalil Erickson. He'll draw the foul. Will earn a couple free throw tries to potentially trim this lead to 3. And right now, Khalil Erickson at 4 points. He shot 2 for 3 from the field. Has turned the ball over a couple of times. So that's a little bit of a risk when you go for these show-stopping plays. As you may turn the ball over at times. Free throw good for Erickson. We see Roussel check back in. Hoey out. 1:20 left here in the first half. Only a 4-point difference. And here comes the next free throw attempt from Erickson. Goes through. All right, a little bit of pressure here defensively to start off. This offensive possession coming from Washington State. Nesto give it out onto the right wing. Reach and foul is called on Valentine. That will briefly pause the action, and actually Wazoo's in the bonus. So at the line is Roussel. He's at 4 points tonight.
Can he convert the patented but yet evil 1-and-1?
He's able to sink that first one. And Roussel's 2 for 2. He's been Washington State's much needed anchor down low. He's able to extend this lead to 5 with about 1 minute left in this half. Erickson again. A third of 3 highlight reel dunks in this half for Erickson. We heard a lot of noise from that rim on Arizona's side. Now Roussel looking to feed. Finds an open man for 3. It's a clank. Another chance here for these Cougars. Hugo Fields at the top of the key working some clock. In 2 seconds now. Catch and shoot. Hugo Fields hits the 3.
I mean, I just witnessed a man get put underneath the rim. I didn't. The 3 doesn't have the same momentum as literally getting punched.
Oh wow! Now Fields, a little bit physical here. As the Cougars look to take the last made bucket. And here we go. Roussel, Vince against Yams. The 2. That looked good to me on first look. And it looks like the officials have to review. Coach, that looked good to me. Did that look good to you?
No.
No? You thought it was late?
Absolutely not. No, it was money. I'm not gonna lie. But any shot against Yams is not a good shot.
Okay. So you think it's not good in a different way. All right, here we go. We'll see if Roussel releases. And indeed he does with .2 on that shot clock. Love that vintage shot clock design, by the way. And there you go. 39-31 for Washington State. As we'll head to this halftime break. Waiting for the signal. Wait, what? All right, they do give the score to Washington State. They'll head to the locker room all pumped up. Coach,
it still wasn't a good shot.
Okay, you think it would? You think the ball should have been passed out by Roussel to another man?
It's one of those things where like it's a no. Oh, he made it, so I can't say anything. He 100% shouldn't have took that shot. But I do have to commend Washington State for how they've used their secondary unit. Their secondary unit absolutely has came into play, and they've dominated Arizona's second unit. Where the games remained close and somewhat gone in Arizona's favor is when the ones are out. It seems like the starters, Hugo Fields, Roussel, those guys seem to struggle with their matchups versus when the backups are in, the 2 shooting guard and the backup center. And when Travion Sherwood goes to center for the second unit, he doesn't seem to have any of those struggles or any of those problems. So it allows Washington State, when they get a lead, to maintain a lead.
All right, Coach David Riley holding an 8-point lead over Arizona at the half. More action coming up.
Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
Now there's a steal by Murr. Underneath the DJ.
What's this gonna be? Lead pass. Roll. Stop it! Stop it! Do not do him like that! Now goes to roll. Brandon, a three-pointer out front. Hit
There's no better time than now. See the game, be the game.
Here we go with half number 2. The home team down 8 against these scrappy Washington State Cougars. Coach Drayton, man, what do you feel like were the messages sent with these two coaches, David Riley and Tommy Lloyd, over the halftime break?
For Tommy Lloyd, his team is definitely attack, attack, attack. We've done a good job of attacking the rim. We're down 8. We can't afford to not come out aggressive and try and dominate. We're the home team. Now for David Riley, his team is definitely going to be, let's play calm. We have the lead. Let's not do anything that we wouldn't usually do. Let's run our sets. Let's run our plays. Let's do the things that have made us successful thus far.
Looks like all the starters from the start of the game are on the court to begin the second half. Asher Benedict driving up against Valentine. Oh, that's a bad shot. And Valentine now working in transition along with Corey Yams, who jams it down to make it a 6-point contest.
It's like every time we watch Arizona, we're like the hefty kid at Thanksgiving. Stop being stingy with the yams. We want the yams. Give us the yams.
Indeed, fans want to see more yams as the Wildcats come up with a steal. Khalil Erickson working his way up. He's been a big factor so far in this ball game. Goes for the jump shot, no good. Rebound by Sherwood. Fields takes it to Sherwood up against Erickson, and now Hugo Fields hits the 3 from the right wing, making it 42-33.
Now, the good and bad thing about running those pressure sets and those presses is that generally, if you can get people off of their sets, you do find success. The ultimate problem is if at any point in time you don't actually slow them down, it creates wide open looks because the defense constantly has to overcompensate. Washington State, while they're being pressed, aren't being pressured. Two different things. People believe if you press, instantly pressure is had. No. Because they're not feeling pressured, they're still able to get into their sets. They're able to swing the ball fast enough to where somebody has to overcompensate, and it keeps leaving the deep mid-range and the easy corner threes and the top of the key shots wide open.
Hugo Fields at the line makes it a double-digit lead here for the Cougs. As we look at Washington State's free throw stats so far, they are shooting 8 for 11 from the charity stripe. Now, Fields at 5 total points. Will this be a 6th? It is. Washington State with 44 total points in production. They lead by 11. Now the Wildcats looking for a spark, looking for a run, and they need to get to work on defense as well. floppy pass, but Yams recovers, hits the layup.
Give us the Yams.
Yep, all the forwards that are needed for Arizona. Roussel working up against Yams. He'll come up with the turnaround jumper. So Roussel with efficiency there, enough space to score over Yams. So a much smarter shot attempt versus that buzzer beater, you would say, Drayton?
Oh, 100%. See, that was a good shot. I mean, Yams defended it well, but ultimately a good shot. Nobody can hate on that. The shot that he made before half was not a good shot. It went in, but it wasn't.
Okay, here's the take from Coach Drayton. Here we go with the Cougars. Been a back and forth between single-digit and double-digit lead. Approaching the 17-minute mark in the second half. Layup is good for Roussel. He's starting to heat up here in the second half. Arizona calls timeout at the 16:53 mark here in the half. And we'll be right back after this short break.
See the game, be the game.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Ooh, man, oh man, oh man. As of present, you getting nothing but Drayton, and more Drayton. And this is officially Off the Rim.
Ain't no way around it. Ain't no way around it. Cause I'm tryna ball out. Come on if you bout it. But you better keep up. I'm not slowing down. I swear they gon' see us. Ain't no way around it.
We're back here at McHale Memorial Center, where many current SWBA players have called this venue home, such as Aaron Gordon, Laurie Markkinen, DeAndre Ayton, Benedict Mathurin, and Pella Larson. And we'll see if Theo Hilton will join that list, as he is projected to be drafted in the second round in the upcoming SWBA draft. However, the Wildcats have a task right here as they're down 13. Held ball called. And we'll see who they give the ball to. And Arizona will be inbounding here. Corey Yams still looking to break the single-digit scoring and go up into double digits on the point totals. However, Theo Hilton will go for the good look. However, he misses. And Travion Sherwood with the rebound and the quick pass to the far side. Oh, look out! J.D. Reyes. He's got a few nice-looking dunks tonight. All right, Coach, what do you want to see more of Arizona, as this game is slowly slipping away at this stage?
I think they're rushing their shots. They aren't getting the comfortable spots. And again, you know, when you do a lot of things, you start pressing, and people forget that while they're in college, that a lot of these players are still young in their careers. The understanding of basketball fundamentals is sometimes lacking for these guys. The idea of picking up and switching and peeling and all those different things, sometimes the things that these players that in the SWBA is second nature, but to them, they've never had to. Like, right, you have somebody like Corey Yams, who in his prep career that I got to watch a lot of, he dominated 90% of his matchups. He never had to switch. He never faced somebody he couldn't go. That's not always the case in college basketball. You have some bigs that aren't really bigs, that are super athletic wings that just happen to be 6'9", 230. and they're playing the 5 because the coach is like, well, you're the biggest guy I got. You're stuck at the 5. Versus in prep, yeah, some of those bigger guys that you face aren't really athletes. They're just big. And those guys he was able to easily cover. So you face the, I don't want to say there's there's like a finite point where like your hoops knowledge and your physical ability meet. And for some people, they're able to bridge the gap of being elite with their IQ, and some people are able to bridge the gap with their ability. And in college, I think nobody's at that point.
It's a poor shot choice coming from Jeremy Fifield. Quickly went up with a 3 score. I know they're down 15, but you gotta come up with more good looks. You're trying to shoot from 3. Now right hand, good for Roussel. And Arizona has to call timeout.
But see, that right there to me is a mandatory switch. There's no way you see him throw his shoulder 2 times into him and he gets pushed back both times and you're like, all right, yeah, he got it. He's going to stop him. No, the big's now comfortable. He knows this guy has no chance in apples to oranges of stopping him from getting to the spot that he wants to get to. I think if Arizona wants to win this, on offense, they have to be willing to run. They have to be able to do the quick passes and try and run the pick and roll. Or if you're going to run the pin down screens, they have to commit to a style of offense. It's a lot of, I don't want to say randomness because everything's being called with rhythm and reason and purpose, but they have to commit to a style. For Washington State, they already have the lead. All they have to do is just play comfortable. Don't force anything. Don't take any unnecessary quick shots. Shoot the clock down. I believe Coach Bones used to say, munch on the fat for as long as you can and get the best possible shot. They're up 17 points, and it's their game to lose at this point.
Leo Erickson currently the leading scorer for Arizona with 10 points. And Washington State has a couple guys in double-digit figures. Roussel with 14. Reyes with 10. We'll get to work here with Zane Davis. Working as the ringmaster. He'll send it out, 1 pass. A little bit of a hesitation there on the drive. Fifield goes up, misses the shot. More boos coming from the crowd. Cougars with Benedict. And now a few guys on the court sharing the floor with Benedict. Oh, as we see a turnover. All was supposed to go over to James Somerville. We'll see if Arizona has some sort of offensive style going. Yams is rejected. Now the Cougars in transition. Arion Funderburk out to JD Reyes. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Somerville back to Reyes. Which direction will he go? We'll go left. Over Fifield for the score. JD Reyes with a solid 12 points in 20 plus minutes on the court.
And I believe that was part of my early game analysis that you never know with freshmen. Sometimes they're going to give you those, ooh, this is really what he could be performances, or, well, he is a freshman performances. And I think JD Reyes is kind of giving one of those, oh, this is what he could be performances, because he's absolutely dominated Arizona so far.
Now in the paint is Roussel, and over his defender. It's a barrage of made shots coming from the Cougars here in the second half. And right now Arizona is pretty much helpless. Corey Yams calling for the ball. He receives it. And now he's double teamed. High pass over to Fifield. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Zane Davis looking for an open guy. I'll just go to Yams real quick and back to Davis. Zane Davis being physical up against Benedict. And that shot is off the mark. I mean, he saw the effort there from Davis. You got to credit the efforts in trying to come up with a bucket, Coach, but they keep missing.
I mean, sometimes it's just not your night, and when you're down 23, the starters aren't bad. Some of the starters are in. It seems like Washington State, even when they take bad shots, they're going in sometimes, and then you have just blunder after blunder that don't. Some of the blunders that Arizona's made is kind of like the statement for this game. It'd be like, oh, great roll. Oh, he found the right guy. The guy steps out of bounds.
How about this? The Wildcats only have 4 points in this half, and we're almost to the halfway mark here in the second half. Just 4 points. And Washington State up by plenty, 20 plus in fact. The rebound there by Shaquan Oldham. Wildcats, Mustafa Bamba over on the near side. Back to Owen Oldham. And Arizona with their second team out on the floor. To work with Mustafa Bamba. All right, he had to be careful, make sure he didn't step out of bounds there. I don't know what's up with that part of the floor, but it's been an area where they have called several out-of-bounds turnovers. However, Bamba comes up with the points to trim the lead.
It's because of how like the blue and the light brown line merge. It's messed my eyes up a couple times. But you would think a team that plays here all the time would know the difference, but
Byfield almost loses it. Pass it out to the left wing. Litton Cordoba could not hit with the reverse. Washington State with Nestor getting this possession up against Fifield. Now reach the halfway point of the second half. 60-37 is the Cougar lead. Somerville back to the left wing with Nestor. 5 seconds, Funderburk. What'll he do? All right, pushes it with enough strength to make it 62-37. And another close turnover. Fifield, man. I don't know why he's been allowing these defenders to just poke the ball away from his hands. Now Arizona has to look out for that out of bounds line. They do succeed there on that reverse layup. At this point, you need the students to say, look out, watch out for the line. But Washington State needs to call timeout here.
Or and something. I mean, we've seen them. The amount of out of bounds that they've done in this game is like too many for even a young team. This is getting in that area of how is that happening?
Indeed. The lead is at 23. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey, it's Henry Martell, and I just joined SimWorld Hoops. If you like hoops as much as art, then you gotta check them out. It's a Discord server, discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops. It's really the ultimate virtual basketball experience. Like, this isn't your average game. It's like stepping into your own basketball world. And whether you're like a player or a fan, it's time to see the game be the game.
Back here for Pac-12 After Dark. We want to go to Yells, who's over on the sideline with a report.
Yeah, I had a moment just to spend with Coach Tommy Lloyd, and he tells me sometimes it is just not your night. He says the guys have not really been executing the game plan. They have not been executing the movement that he would like to see off ball, and absolutely not giving the effort that he would like to see on defense. Said many times that he did not want to see Roussel under single coverage unless Corey Yams was guarding him. That has not been the case tonight. He is not pleased. Back to you guys.
All right, Javante Roussel currently at 18 points in this ball game, 5 rebounds, a couple blocks, and he's shooting a solid 8 for 10 from the field. Gotta love when you see an 8 for 10 stat line, Coach.
I mean, 80% from the field is kind of like, oh, they can't really stop me. But sometimes the stat sheet doesn't show the full weight of somebody's ability in a game like this. He's played absolutely out of his mind. I think this is one of those games that definitely solidifies their spot in the Pac-12 for how they're going to finish out the season. Because I had high hopes for this Arizona team.
And Arizona, just quick look at the record shows how much they haven't made expectations throughout. Not only the pundits and the coaches, but also with the fans here who expect their team to be always in that SP Top 25 year after year. However, they're not ranked at the moment. Only UCLA ranked in that SP Top 25 in the Pac-12. And now Theo Hilton looking to add more to his stat sheet, finish the game strong. Erickson was open for a bit, but decides to go back to Hilton. Now Hilton, left-hand layup is good.
I mean, talk about a great pick and roll. That's how you slice and dice the defense. But I mean, might be a drop in the bucket too late. I mean, you're down 23 points.
They're just looking for some solid buckets on the Wildcats side. And if you're Washington State, possibly trying to keep dominating and run up the score perhaps. Roussel, we spotlighted him, and he adds to his points total. He's now at 20. And here, Arizona responding with a layup of their own. That is DeJuan Linton Cordoba, Arizona's team captain. A little bit of defensive pressure here. It's Asher Benedict with a spin move and decides to pass it out instead of drive it up himself. Hugo Fields at the top of the key. Washington State up by plenty in their maroon unis, although I'm a fan of their anthracite unis as well. J.D. Reyes comes up. Nice pass, finding an open man. Things have quieted down here at McHale Memorial Center. Arizona, not their best work here on this Wednesday night. Jumper, no good for Linton Cordoba as Benedict now charges up. Stop at the and a pass. Sweet pass. Hugo Fields goes high in the sky for the jam.
And I think those two possessions kind of perfectly paint how the game went. Arizona runs the right play, gets to the right spot, ends in a miss, and as they're on their heels trying to get back for defense, perfectly Washington State finds a cutter that jams it on the inside. I mean, that sums up the game so far.
And to credit Travion Sherwood with the block. And we want to go over the outlook here for both teams. Washington State just trying to find a way to finish the season over 500. Right now is one of their stronger performances of the season. And Coach, how do you keep up performances like these down the stretch?
I mean, when you're watching film, you can see what all you did right. It's one of those things, and I know people usually don't believe in it. It's maybe a newer age type of thing where we're gonna constantly watch film on what we did right. I know a lot of coaches focus on the bad. Here's how we can improve, but sometimes you have to celebrate yourself, especially when you know the season's winding down and you have older guys. This is where we make the splash. This is where we say, hey, look, Arizona was considered a better team. We're the underdogs going into this game. We handled them for the most part. Look at how well you do this, Hugo. Look how well you do this, Roussel. Look how well you do this, Sherwood. And when you harp on all the good players, I know some people don't view them as that. Players are human. Some people need to be celebrated in order to make it over the hump of a long season.
Definitely. Looking ahead to the Cougars' schedule, they've got Stanford and Oregon at home, followed by the final regular season game on the road against Cal. And currently they're at 4-6 in conference play, but if they they went out. They can finish at 8-6 in conference play. Meanwhile, Arizona, what do you tell your guys after a game like this in the locker room?
I would argue almost the exact opposite of this. This is one game. This does not define it. I understand that we lost at home, this, that, and the third, but here's how we're going to come back. You watch film on the next team that you play, and you try and expose every weakness and show counter film of how this weakness is our strength, or how we are capable of beating this type of team this type of way. It's literally, I don't want to say it's the exact opposite, but when you're getting beat like this, you have to do something to garner your team's momentum back, and you have to say that, hey, we're going to stomp the next team, here's how we're going to do it, and I'm going to talk about my guys' strengths, not my guys' weaknesses.
All right, timeout has been called. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Inspiration ain't required. I go hard in the pain even when I'm tired. Cause tomorrow ain't promised. I give my all, ain't nothing less. No tomorrow ain't promised. There's no tomorrow, no tomorrow, no.
All right, some updates on Pac-12 contest for tonight. UCLA, the conference leader, won against Colorado 90-84. LaGerald Carroll with a great performance there. As there's a score by Arizona to make it 74-47. Oregon coming up with a win over Washington. They won by just 4 over in Seattle. 67-63, Timothy Brown, the spotlight player there for the Ducks. So this Pac-12, a little tougher now with UCLA garnering a victory, as well as Oregon, with Arizona looking like they're about to end this night in a blowout loss. And yeah, Coach, what more of your thoughts here in this conference outlook?
I mean, as far as the conference goes, I didn't think that anybody other than Arizona maybe had a chance against UCLA, but it seems like UCLA is kind of casually walking away with it. What does surprise me is, in my opinion, earlier in the season, I thought Washington was a little bit better on paper than they currently are. I mean, their season is, I don't want to say it's over, because nothing's over till it's over, but
yep, UCLA before their game tonight ranked number 15 in the SP Top 25. We will see if they will move up a spot or two after their victory over Colorado. Meanwhile, Arizona will remain unranked after this game, as they're looking for some answers, and Washington State looking for more consistency. Layup, unable to go through. for Arizona. And now Thunderbrook will get to work here. About 3 minutes left in the second half. 29 points is the lead for the Cougars, and it stays at 29 as there's a miss.
I mean, I think this is backups against backups, and even still, Arizona can't edge anything out. And he passed that up.
He did pass it up, and they do draw the foul. We'll see Somerville check back in for the Cougars. And yeah, the Pac-12 hasn't garnered much attention compared to other conferences. But it's really now UCLA to watch about the next month or so going into Hoopsteria. I guess you could say UCLA trying to make the Pac-12 proud when we get to this tournament.
I mean, they might be the only chance the Pac-12 has of having a team advance past round one.
We do have to give credit to California as well. They've been competing as the number 2 spot in this conference. They've been hyping up over there at Haas Pavilion, gaining more attendance week after week. As we see another 2-pointer lefty layup for Arizona. And man, just looking back at this scorebook, Arizona only at 49 points with 146 left in the second half. I don't know, some pundits will probably have many words to say on this Wildcat squad. Will that include you, Drayden?
I mean, I'm not going to necessarily down-talk them. I've been a coach that's taken my fair share of lumps. I think one time a team beat us by like 30 plus. So I never speak down on teams, especially a team that has as much potential as Arizona. They definitely have a lot of key pieces. And it's a shame that they aren't gelling the way that I thought they would later in the season. But sometimes it's just not your year.
Now, with 7 seconds, they'll go up close and they draw a foul once more. Thunderbrook's second. This sends DeJuan Litton Cordoba to the line for 2. And just a little spotlight for DeJuan Litton Cordoba. Sophomore point guard from Window Rock, Arizona, putting up 4.7 points, 2.8 rebounds per game. He's been known for his defensive instincts, but here just looking to mop up I guess the damage put up by these Washington State Cougars tonight, as Arizona has now reached the 50-point mark.
I mean, this is like when Chris Paul hit that 1-3 and they were still down like 25. So I
wonder if Cougars Twitter will probably make reference over those free throws tonight, all the Chris Paul free throws. Right now lead it at 25. In a throw of layups in these final minutes of the second half. And I do want to bring up that I'll be taking a flight to Tuscaloosa right after the buzzer. We got a big game tomorrow, Alabama, Kentucky, the SEC. That's one to look out for on SimWorld TV. Hope it's much more competitive than what we've seen here in Tucson.
I think that's about as heavyweight as it can get. I mean, in my opinion, Alabama is probably like top to bottom, the most complete roster. But when you're talking about pure star power, I don't think there's many teams that have the star power that Kentucky does. Glory Tate, Jamison Johnson, Adonis Knight when he feels it, Trey Truss when he feels it. It's a team that's just loaded with star power.
And the buzzer has sounded. It's a final here in Tucson. Washington State comes up with the victory, 76-51. Cougars improve to 5-6 in conference play. Arizona falls to 6-5 in conference play. And on behalf of myself, JJP, and Coach Drayton, we thank you for watching. And don't forget, SimWorld Sports is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. Good night, everybody.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld Sports.